What's going on, everybody? It's the Bulls Show, aka Aidan, and welcome back to another video. Today we've got more Chicago Bulls news, as they have recently decided to waive some players and give that one of the two official contract spots out to Chicago Bulls players. And I do feel like it is necessary to talk about the importance of this contract. And before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bulls Show, turn notifications on, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls and the decisions they have made and some of the decisions they have not made heading into now with one roster spot left and a two-way contract remaining for the Chicago Bulls. Now, the first thing I want to talk about in relation to this, I want to talk about the waivings of the Chicago Bulls players, and there are two players we need to talk about. First one is Stanley Johnson, which is a massive surprise in my opinion as a Chicago Bulls fan. I guess you could have said with the two contract spots remaining, we all knew one of them was going to go out to a really good player we'll talk about later, and then you either had a two-way contract or a remaining one for the Chicago Bulls, and it looks like Stanley Johnson is one of the earlier ones to be waived, which is quite surprising because I thought out of Matt Thomas, Tyler Cook, and Stanley Johnson, Tyler Cook would have been the one to get waived early, but it does look like Stanley Johnson is the one that's going to get waived from the Chicago Bulls team. Now, this could mean we could potentially see him in the G League for this team, or maybe it is just waiving and we will see Stanley Johnson, I guess, maybe compete for another team. Who really knows? But the reality is the Chicago Bulls have waived Stanley Johnson, and arguably one of his better performances on the team against the Memphis Grizzlies, and he is gone from the roster. So whatever the case may be with Stanley Johnson, I know many people were rooting for him to get that last contract spot or even that two-way contract, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen at this point in time. So for all those people that do want Stanley Johnson on this team, I guess it is a sad day for you guys, and I sincerely hope wherever Stanley Johnson goes in his next future when it comes to the G League, if it is in another team in the NBA, hopefully he succeeds and proves those doubters wrong, because he does bring something to a team. It just needs to be on the right team, in my opinion. The next player we're going to talk about is Troy Baxter Jr. Now, I just recently made a video only a couple of hours ago about Troy Baxter Jr. signing for the Chicago Bulls, and now I'm talking about him being waived from the Chicago Bulls. Now, many people predicted this coming into it, so I'm not going to be someone that says I knew this from the get-go, but the Chicago Bulls are probably waiving Troy Baxter so he could play in the G League with this team. And it just goes to show that what happened in the previous video, it looks like it's coming to light. We're going to see the Chicago Bulls in and around Troy Baxter Jr. as we get to see him play for the Windy City Bulls, and he can impress there. And when the time comes for him to get his opportunity, the Chicago Bulls will be there to grant his opportunity. So it's time for him to impress in the G League. I think he knew from the beginning what was going to happen, and the Chicago Bulls knew what was going to happen, but it is great to see that Troy Baxter will probably play in the G League, and I'm not too worried about his waiving of the Chicago Bulls. We'll see what happens in his career, and hopefully that G League team is the next step for him to come out and impress the Bulls, because I know he's a fan favorite, and I know many people want him to get a contract on this team, and to do that, you're going to have to impress the Chicago Bulls. And now let's talk about the official signings of the Chicago Bulls. We have assigned official player on a guaranteed contract. Coming into this, we had two guaranteed contracts, and one of them is now given away, and it's gone to a really deserving player, in my opinion. His name is Alize Johnson. What a strong performance from Alize Johnson in this preseason. Billy Donovan spoke so highly about him when asked about Alize Johnson and whether he's done enough to keep his spot on the roster, and it's safe and well and true now that he is going to be a Chicago Bull, getting a guaranteed roster spot, earning his minutes, earning his playing time, and now earning his money for the Chicago Bulls. Congratulations to Alize Johnson, one of the most impressive players in preseason, and again, his rebounding tenacity and his ways to get easy shots on this team is going to be well needed, and that mentality of a Dennis Rodman type player, which many people compare him to, is something that we do like to see as Chicago Bulls fans as well. So this is definitely a place for me where I'm very excited to see how well he could do in the regular season, and hopefully he's part of the main rotation, because in my opinion he is one of the best preseason performers of the team, and he deserves to be in the full rotation and not just getting garbage time minutes. Let's see what the Chicago Bulls could do with Alize Johnson, but it's a perfect step in the right direction. And if everybody was on a non-guaranteed contract, Alize Johnson 100% deserves deserved to be a Chicago Bull, and definitely the right decision was made with him. Big emphasis there. Now, that does leave one guaranteed contract remaining and one two-way contract remaining. These are the things that the Chicago Bulls need to do, the decisions they need to make. They've waived Stanley Johnson now. They have waived Troy Baxter. So those two players will not get guaranteed contracts. Those two players will not get a two-way contract, at least at this point in time. So it does go down now to Matt Thomas, Tyler Cook, or we just potentially go without the remaining roster spot or a two-way deal. So what's it going to be for the Chicago Bulls? I believe the deadline in Chicago is going to be Monday for you guys, Tuesday for obviously me in Australia. So that's when the deadline needs to be made. That's when the final decisions of the roster have to be made. Who is it going to be? And of course, we might know later on by the time this video does get out, but the reality is we still, at this point in time, are unsure of the circumstances that will be going around the Chicago Bulls. I still have to make a prediction, and my prediction is Matt Thomas will make the roster. And I don't really know what's happening to Tyler Cook. I was really surprised to see he's remaining on the roster compared to Stanley Johnson, compared to even Troy Baxter, to be honest, and obviously Bryce Alford. Tyler Cook is still on this team, so he must be doing something right by the Chicago Bulls standards for him to still be in a position where he does have a job on this team. We'll maybe know in a few hours what happens with the Chicago Bulls, but I'm going to make this video in relation to what's happening right now, because the Bulls show, aka Aidan, is very, very tired. It is 4:30 in the morning for me, and I didn't want to wait any longer to see if the Bulls will have any updates. If the Bulls do have any updates while I'm gone and asleep, I will have to make it when I wake up, or just the usual times I make videos for the Chicago Bulls, and that's just the reality we're going to have to face going into the regular season. The news won't stop for the Chicago Bulls. There will be more decisions made from other teams that will affect the Bulls, and also by the full Bulls that could affect other teams. So that's just something we need to look out for. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. Have a wonderful and safe day, Bulls Nation. I'll see you in another Chicago Bulls video. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care.